It's your favorite cousin's favorite cousin, Ren, and I'm joined by the amazing, the wonderful, the powerful. I don't know if y'all know this about Dee Dee. Say what's up to the people, Dee
What's up
Dee.
to the people? I like my new house, my new living room.
Oh, it's nice. It's playing. Is that a grand piano or a baby grand?
It's a grand.
That's a grand
The
grand.
tail is behind that fireplace.
You know that meme that be like, that little boy, he need to get whooped, but he be like, "I'm the daddy.
I
I'm
haven't seen
the
that.
daddy." You ain't seen it? I'm gonna have to
Mm-mm.
send it to you. If y'all seen it, man, that mug is hilarious. I'm the daddy. Dude got to be 2 years old. But
Y'all,
nah,
excuse my
we here.
appearance. It's been rough out here
I was telling
and
people
hot.
I was telling people it was a tribute.
Huh?
It was a tribute. It was a tribute look. Like you was doing 90s gangsta slash
Nah, this
like.
is workout. It's hot outside. Just left the pool.
Yeah, listen, I respect that. I respect that. Cause listen, if y'all didn't know, I don't know if y'all know this, but Dee Dee right now is a resident of I hate to call it the South, but it
Yeah.
is the South, right? I
It's the
mean,
South on the map, but it ain't the deep South.
it ain't the D South. Yeah, so Texas is the South. I mean, like
It's
I
a
said,
southern state.
yeah, like that upper, like if you told me El Paso, like I'm considering that South, right? That's the
Mm.
tip of the South for me. But when I
Oh,
think of South, I think of Tennessee, Alabama,
yeah, that's the deep
um,
South
yeah, Mississippi.
where you
M.I.
yeah.
cricket letter, cricket letter, I,
Yeah, the
cricket letter,
country.
I. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
we in the South, but we're considered like Southwest when
okay.
you talk about like culturally. But
Yeah.
we pretty close to Mexico. San
Okay.
Antonio is South Central Texas. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
hot.
Y'all, yeah. And so this is the reason why I bring that up is because I'm a resident of the West Side, have been for a while now, um, through and through. And so when the West Side, we don't got that humidity. Y'all got humidity. I stepped off the plane in Dallas, Texas, tasting like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? Like
Yep. It will
it
slap you in the face.
it tastes like ugh. Like what's going on? Like what y'all doing here? So it's a different type of humidity. It's a different type of heat for sure.
Yeah, but it's just like being in the triple digits for without the it ain't even humid. We had like a little spit of rain last week on Sunday, I think, but it's just hot.
Yeah, it's just hot. Like
Mm-hmm.
hotter than the devil's
It's
butt crack.
dry. Oh my.
Yeah. Hotter than the devil's butt crack. I'm telling you. And that mug is not, y'all need to turn that AC on Power Ranger. All the extra savings will be contributed to central air in this house.
Yes.
Amen. Amen. Praise the Lord. Um, Today we got something wrapping out here, y'all, and y'all just got to hear our hearts on this one for sure. I love the fact that us with the Set Apart team, with the Set Apart fam, all of you listeners have been rocking with us for so long. Thank you. But there's some candid conversations we do need to have, and I love the fact that we have this platform that we can have it. Now today, let's really sit down, and I want everybody first to take a deep breath. All right, take a deep breath. Let's woosah. Woosah in this place today. In the name of Jesus,
In
woosah.
this place
Listen,
today. That sound like
in this place today,
on today.
please, on today, Lord, come and fill this place like woosah, because we are going to talk about unresolved issues. Now, listen, I'm I'm gonna get so technical on this because I need y'all to get this. I say that when I'm preaching. I need y'all to get this. Uh, Unresolved issues, and that's referring to issues that you probably haven't really went through the healing process in your life with, things that you
Mhm.
probably gave, I call it doing lip service, when you say something that you don't really mean, like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Come on, bro, you is not fine. Everything about you is not fine right now. Like, you can't just move on and push that stuff under the rug, under the rug, and then think it won't resurface somewhere later in your life. And the dangerous part about unresolved issues is that the older you get, the more potential you have a closet full
Yeah.
of unresolved issues. So meanwhile, something that is crazy in human growth is that, and this is very common in multiple cultures, is that we subscribe age with wisdom.
Mm.
So now you have older people. Let's say, for example, like I go years and years and years and years and years without resolving these issues. I'm sweeping it under the rug. And now I'm a grandfather age, 60s, 70s, or whatever. So that means I probably got a good 40 years worth of unresolved, at least a good 40 years of unresolved issues. But yet, and still, you see me as wise because of my age. So not only am I living my life through the filter of unresolved issues, but now I'm putting that back on the younger generation to live their life through my
Mm.
unresolved issues when it comes to counsel. That's dangerous. What you think
Yeah.
about that, Dee?
I mean, for that last part you said, I definitely agree. But it's because we assume that with age comes wisdom because experience should teach us, you know, the taught lessons and the learned lessons. And then that wisdom is supposed to be passed down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you can get wisdom without aging if you listen to wise counsel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are taking in what wise people say, it will behoove you to do it at a younger age so you won't
Yeah.
have to be taught the same lessons or learn the same lessons they learned because they're letting you know, hey, don't do it like this. Because when I did it, this was the result. So I know that's wisdom.
Right.
But on the flip side of that, if somebody is younger than me and they may know a better way, um, I don't have to, it would be unwise of me to just discount it because of only because of age.
Right.
And then flip it on them and be like, just disrespectful because of age. Who you think
Right.
you are? You don't know nothing. You ain't been nowhere. Okay, there's some obvious things I don't know, but this particular thing, I did learn it actually.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, but so there's something to be said about age and wisdom, but it doesn't always mean they are going the same direction.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Because I've
And
seen
it
some
doesn't.
silly old people.
Oh, without a doubt, I've seen some wise young people.
Yeah.
There's people that's younger than me that I'm like, man, like that's admirable. I can look to you for advice in that form of your life because you got that thing dialed in. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you got that thing dialed in, and I need some wisdom in this, and I'll go to them despite their age. And another thing is, I don't even think of, and I don't know if this is a guy thing or a girl thing. You can let me know, but like, I don't even think of age when I ask for wisdom. Like, I think of you're admirable in this area, or you have been here. Help me out.
Yeah.
So for example, like there's people. I'm in my 30s. Shout out, I'm in my prime. Uh, but there's people that is in mid 20s that I'm like, yo, like you've been doing this thing and you've been doing this thing for a while. You've either lived in this area, you've been in this career field, you've
Mm-hmm.
been in this relationship, you come from a strong family. Like there's so many admirable things that maybe they have been through that I have not. Therefore, hey, can I get some advice in this? Can you speak into my life? Can I open up this door for you to speak into my life on how you handle this or how you've seen this handled? It's a beautiful thing, the passing of wisdom. And so,
Yeah.
once again, I'm not going to turn this into a Bible study, but anywhere you meet me guarantees it goes down. Uh, in Proverbs, it talks about gaining wisdom and asking for wisdom, and it emphasizes it so much that it also refers to the transfer of wisdom,
Yeah.
meaning you got it and you give it to me. Like you touched that stove, you found out it was hot. I don't
Exactly.
need I don't need to do the same thing to get to the same conclusion. I can take your word for it.
But that would be called foolish. That's what we call
Yes,
a fool.
exactly. And
I
oh,
told you it was hot because I went there. Or you asked me how to get here because I live there and
yeah,
I've been where you at. I can tell you how to get there. But you a fool if you tell me, number one, I don't know, and then you tell me you got a better way, but you never
yeah.
been there.
You never been there. You don't know.
So I do think there's something to be said about people who have aged into wisdom. I love talking to older people. I love
Yes.
when I go to my grandmother's house, I always be like, I'm just gonna be here for a minute, and it turned into 3 4 hours. And it may be some stuff I've already heard her say, but I enjoy hearing her perspective. We talk about politics all the time.
Yeah.
She's seen more changes than I have, and
Yes.
she's in her 80s. So her perspective and why she's frustrated by certain things is not just a feeling or not just a meme she saw. She
Right.
was living through it. So she
Right.
felt it. Not only is she an older black woman, she's also from the South. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of different angles. She's a mother, grandmother of boys and girls. So she's seen a lot. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to be said for that. But I think it's dangerous when we just think we automatically have it because we old.
Yeah, exactly. And so when it gets into wisdom mixed with unresolved issues, we understand that that can be dangerous. Other avenues where unresolved issues can be dangerous is think about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you from a textbook. I read this once. No, I'm telling you from I have walked in
Mm-hmm.
to relationships before with unresolved issues. Did I know at the time? Probably not. But even when I was aware, it doesn't mean that the unresolved issues had any less of an impact. Um, and that means that I treat people and I see the world and I interact with people either bracing because I've been hurt in areas,
Mm-hmm.
or I can be the other side. I'm forcefully interjecting in areas that I probably shouldn't have because I've seen this play out before where people take advantage of you if you don't insert yourself. All of this stuff deriving from unresolved issues of stuff that we talked about this before, and this was in our mental health in season one, that people are totally afraid to go through the healing process. People are totally either afraid or lazy to go through these unresolved issues. And unresolved issues like, what is the relationship with your mom like? What
Mm-hmm.
is the relationship with your father like? What is the relationship with you and certain things in your life, like balance, boundaries, um, applying yourself, commitment? Some people, I mean, I'm be honest, like I look at those, I call it trash TV.
Mm-hmm.
Trash TV is anything that is totally zeroed in on somebody's life when we shouldn't be in a house. That's what I call trash TV, aka reality TV. But like you look at my 600 pounds life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's crazy. I think I'm talking about weight and fitness. No, I'm not. Like a lot of that derives from people's relationship and correlation to food. I eat and I overindulge to compensate for emptiness, or maybe I'm being a glutton because it tastes so good. I need to have more and more and more and more and more. Like whatever it is, a lot of these things can be attributed to something that was unresolved or not stewarded well,
Mm-hmm.
to get to a place where now it's way more piled up than we could ever fathom here at the beginning of this road. And so, um, walking into, and here's my question for you, Didi. Walking into, and I'm sure maybe you can correct me here live on in the place to be. Um, I'm sure that you have realized or witnessed some type of relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or a family relationship,
Mm-hmm.
with unresolved issues. What makes it hard to navigate those either on your side or from the other side?
Well, a couple things that I want to say about that. Sometimes, sometimes you have to resolve that things don't always have to go back to how they once were. So sometimes you have to resolve within yourself that although I may want this relationship to look this way, if time has passed, people have changed, evolved, people move. It's almost like when you say people have unresolved issues from childhood, right? You're never going to be able to go back to that child that you once were to
You
console that
never.
child.
Right.
And a lot of things that you'll find if you ever go to therapy, and it's that might be the root of it, is that's when it started. But you have to resolve within yourself that I can't change the past, and I can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. So
Right.
although I might feel wronged, it's up to me to either forgive or to just settle within me. They gave me the best they had, even if it was not enough for me. So
Right.
I have to be okay with, although I think they're being irrational, it doesn't matter what I think until they believe they're being irrational. So
Correct.
I have to resolve that I need to heal for me, whether or not we reconcile, whether or not things are put back into place. I have to reconcile that fact that I can only do what I'm responsible for, which is me, my
Right.
intention, my thoughts toward them, and I have to be okay if I never get back what I thought I lost.
What's up, guys? This is Ren from the Set Apart Podcast. Did you know you can interact with us and continue the conversation via our online forum? That's right. You can email us today at setapartpodcastteam@gmail.com, because this is not just a podcast, this is a movement. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Yeah.
So that's why I think therapy is important, but also it's important to have self-reflection, to know like, okay, I could have done this better. I'm only responsible for apologizing for my role in it. Um,
Yes.
so if it's a family relationship, if it's a romantic relationship, usually those are the ones with the heaviest commitment. So you owe it to the commitment to at least attempt
Right.
to settle it. Um, but then you have to acknowledge that not everybody will have the same tools. So you have to accept they can only give me what they got.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because if they had the tools, then they would use them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody works hard to get the tools and then puts them on the shelf. Like it
Yeah.
costs too much to get the tools for me not to use them.
Right.
But if you don't have the tools that are necessary, but you giving me the one you use a screwdriver, the Phillips screwdriver for everything,
Yeah.
that's all you got until you get some more. I'm gonna have to be okay with that and love you where you at with that Phillips screwdriver.
Right.
So then there is reconciliation. It's just not a repeat of what once was, but that's I just have to accept that that's where we at.
Right. And those tools is okay. I got two questions for you on that.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, uh, I love the fact I love the fact that you said that a person can only work with the tools that they have. I've seen so many relationships where, um, no matter what the classification of the relationship is, I've seen
Mm-hmm.
so many relationships where, um, person A is trying to change person B,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to basically force them to operate with tools that they don't have. They have a Phillips screwdriver. I don't care. Cut down a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out. Like that's
And
not.
then why you ain't figured it out fast enough? I
I
don't
got a
know.
Phillips driver. I got a Phillips screwdriver. I don't have the tool. So people understand that people may not have that tool in their toolbox, to meet that need that you put out there on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, you said something about, you hinted at, when reconciliation happens, or that deals, or that goes that way, that you have to be okay with the relationship not being what it once was.
Yes.
Meaning that feelings may be hurt. I'm gonna be honest, I would be in my feelings. Feelings will be hurt. Maybe you will reminisce a little bit too much. But here's my question for you in that regard:
Mm-hmm.
is that an L? Is that taking an L? If, hey, maybe we're amicable, and we're fine, and we get along, and we put this we buried the hatchet, so to say,
Mm-hmm.
but the relationship never goes back to where it is. Is that a L?
Off the top, I would say yes because it feels like it is,
Hmm.
but in reality, I would say no because eventually it would have got to that point because the tools was never going to come out. So if um usually when situations happen with relationships, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a romantic partner, whether it's a sibling, if something just happens, it didn't just happen.
Right.
There are some things that was formulating, that was simmering in the crock pot, um for whatever reason. It could be assumption, it could
Yeah.
be I heard this because somebody said this and blah 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 said that, but it never got addressed when it was this big, and then it became a whole monster. And the
Yeah.
parties involved never talk to each other. It could be a number of things, but if if the friendship is lost, that does hurt.
Yeah.
Because I've been there, and you have to grieve it, but you have to think about the reality is it was either going to be a surface relationship anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So losing that, or are you losing what you dreamed it was going to be, but it never really was.
Right.
Like I thought it was going to, I thought we was deeper than that. Obviously there's some things that we really weren't where what we thought.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to romantic, let's talk about marriage. The point of that is because it's covenant, we going to work it out till it work it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it might take longer than a week. You know what I'm saying? But you
Right.
still
Amen.
gotta, because you're in covenant, you still gotta live life and be okay with there's gonna be some things unresolved. But because I'm with you for the rest of my life, we're gonna ride it out till we figure it out. Right?
Mm.
So though that's different.
Right.
That ain't my homegirl from college.
Yeah.
I probably wanted to be because in my fantasy world, we all live in the same block. We raising our kids together. You know all
Yeah.
the stuff you be
Yeah.
saying. I
Yeah.
never want to leave this dorm life ever.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
recreate it.
Yes.
Let's buy the block.
Let's
But
do
let's
it.
be real. Everybody ain't where everybody say they at.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily your life partner. So I'm gonna have to be okay with seeing you at weddings and funerals.
Yeah.
And it hurts
Yeah.
my heart, but it feels, but at least I know where you stand. And because we care about each other, at least at some level, we know that our relationship has evolved and went another way. And it's okay to have seasonal relationships. That's something else that's hard for
Say
believers
that. Yeah.
to accept because we think everything is covenant, lifelong,
We
you
want it to
know,
be deep. We want
summer
everything to go
camp
to, yeah.
friendships. And they're literally summer
Mm-hmm.
camp friendships. You meet the best friends of your life, but you ain't gonna see them no more.
Right.
But it was deep for that minute, right?
Right.
But we got to be okay with like, thank you, Lord, for what it was.
Yeah.
And I learned so much, and I don't have no beef. But sometimes we get disappointed by the imagination of what we thought something was than what it actually was.
Yeah.
So we holding on to something that, like, dang, I thought I was just saying you can't swim. That's, I was just roasting you. I didn't know it hurt your feelings like that, bro. Like,
Well, say that. Say that because you said the key phrase. Put that mug in quotes. You holding on.
mm-hmm,
You holding on. And so a lot of times the way that I'm gonna say a lot of I feel like it's pop culture words, but please don't loop me in with what you probably think this means. But the way that um, unresolved issues manifest, if you will, that's a hot topic in 2023.
so weird.
I know, but the way that they manifest is through those. A lot of times we hold on to things far too long. Sometimes we hold on to things far too tight.
Mm-hmm.
And then it brings me into this. This is something that needs to be said in regards to unresolved issues. A lot of times, this I don't know if it correlates 100% of the time, so I'm not going to make a general statement like that. But a lot of times, when people have unresolved issues, it is very funny how you can correlate that to be the same people group that a lot of the times take a victim stance. The world is against me. Why me? If
Mm-hmm.
something happens, I could have thrown a stone at you and you threw a stone back. Why did you throw that at me? Why am I the victim? Why don't I deserve good things? Why can't I have a good life? Why am I not in a relationship? Why why me? And you have that, and it's so crazy because like those people, I tell you this, if you're used to taking the victim stance, if you are listening to this and you're used to taking the victim stance, what you do is you literally suffocate. You suffocate the opportunity to get to that resolution. You suffocate the opportunity to get to that reconciliation. You suffocate literally any like and here's the thing, and this is something
He
we
said
talked about.
every letter in that word.
Yes.
Suffocate.
Yes. And you know the Jay Holiday. I don't know if you. I can't breathe when you talk to me.
Oh
I
my
can't breathe. Yes.
God.
Yes. I suffocate when you're away from me. Yes. All of it. You literally suffocate every opportunity to grow, really, because you're taking the victim stance. I told you this, and I firmly believe this. Every single um, uh, type of miscommunication or dispute that I've had with somebody, I can look back and say, where did I do wrong in that? Like you said, you just said, what you're responsible for is calling out where I did wrong in the situation, where you did wrong in the situation, not to get in a room and point fingers. Like nothing's ever going to be solved through that. With people who take and this is my question to you, and I'm putting you on the spot, so I'm telling you, better Isaac Newton up. Uh, with people who take the victim stance, like I want you to say a lot of things. Hey, what irks you about that? Because I can go years and years about what irks me. But what does that really rob the situation of?
Well, first of all, it just means you have too much pride. Cause if it's always directed at you, was it really a relationship or was it just about you from jump? But I'll say
Mm,
a few things to go back to the scenario that you said right before you talked about the victim side. Um I forgot. So anyway, anyway, but it's a pride thing because if
mhm,
you always think that people are doing things against you, you really should humble yourself. Number one, because you are not that much more important than anybody else.
mm. Say that.
No one is living their life to make yours miserable and only yours. If they just
Say
like
that.
that, then they making everybody's life miserable. It ain't just
Say
you.
that.
So it's not reality. And something that we talked about before, your feelings may be real and you feel them, but that doesn't mean that's everybody else's reality.
Mm-hmm.
The real issue is the source of your feelings. And oh, now I remember my thought from before. Sometimes we hold on to stuff because not of what that thing was, but because of the source of that thing. If you regard a certain person in a certain way, their words mean more than somebody off the street. For
Yeah.
example, I have a 10-year-old. Him and his friend be talking the most trash ever, and it is hilarious. They just roast each other from sun up to sundown. But but if I get in on it, it's like, hey, that was rude.
Yeah.
Man, like you really don't like that? It's like I'm like, dang, what happened? And I learned that because of my position in his life and his regard for me, and he cares what I think, I
Mm-hmm.
can't get in on the homeboy roast session with them
Right.
because it doesn't feel like a roast. It feels like a shot to the heart.
Yeah.
Same thing with a romantic relationship, right? The homeboys be killing all your self-esteem. But let your
Oh
woman say
yeah.
the same
Yeah.
thing. Let your woman call you ugly.
Yeah.
You're gonna be depressed. You're like,
Yeah.
dang, I
It's
thought
gonna.
she,
I'm gonna feel
man,
some type
I
of
thought
way.
she, oh, wait,
Mm-hmm.
was she playing? Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
thought, wait a minute. But she said it when she was leaving. Wait,
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, am I ugly?
That a slump cameo, bruh.
Right. Right. But your homeboy is like, man, what you wearing? Like, what
Yeah.
are you doing? But it's the same thing. So it's the source of a comment or
Right.
a rumor
Mm-hmm.
that matters too. So I think that's important. But anyway, but back to the victimhood. I won't say victimology because I use that word at work a lot. It boils down to pride.
Yeah.
Um, because and a lot of people think pride is more braggadocious or false confidence in
Yeah.
big personality and putting others down. No, you can put others down when you make every situation about you. even if you're pretending to be hurt and bothered and your life is so hard and no one else's is. That's
Huh.
pride. So you
Yeah, that's
have to
right.
humble yourself, and humility. Let me just throw this in there because it's irritating how we use the word humility wrong. Humility is not putting yourself down
Hmm.
because you think you being down makes other people go up.
Yeah.
Humility is really just reality.
Yeah.
I'm only great because of God. That's humility. I know where I got it from. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not his favorite child. Anything good that comes from me came from him.
Right.
That's humility. So I can be
Yeah.
confident. Like I'm a shoot a better percentage than you.
Hmm.
That's humility because it's the truth.
I
It's the
respect it.
truth.
Yeah.
I
For sure.
mean,
It's a matter of kind of like being sober minded, right?
that's
Like being
exactly what
sober
it is.
being sober minded to actually what the reality is and not the narrative that you've created for reality.
Absolutely.
Because the issue is that like we go forward once again. We go forward with these narratives when they're unresolved. We go
Absolutely.
forward with these things that we have articulated in our mind, and now we're saying it to the next person as if it was actual truth. And the truth is, no, you're delusional.
Mhm.
Like you did something in that situation. They did something in that situation. Don't just think it was just this person being a demon and just out to get you for the rest for the livelihood of your life.
Yeah.
Um, and the sad part is that I feel like unresolved issues in general is the battery, if not the gasoline. It's the engine that drives this cutoff culture.
Yeah.
Now, it's much easier, and I'm just speaking for the culture, it's much easier to cut you off than to have a conversation with you. It's much easier to say, okay, well, I guess I ain't never talking to them ever again. And I'm like, man, do you really want to operate in a world where you can just cut people off, cut
Because it's
people off, cut
easy.
people off? And you're the victim?
It's
You're cutting
easy.
people off.
Quitting is easy.
Quitting is, but people do it in families. You've heard it in families.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't gonna talk to her no more. I ain't gonna talk to my sister. I ain't gonna talk to my brother. What?
Yeah. It's easy to quit and not do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in that emotion before where I'm like, man, don't call me no more. I've
Yeah.
had that emotion because I think, and this is why people don't go to therapy. It's not so much a fear, it's a fear of doing the work, but it's a fear of what might be uncovered that I
Hmm.
don't want to have to admit was there. Because if it's unresolved and it becomes uncovered, now I have to resolve it.
Right.
And so that's why it's hard. And it's easier to say, well, I don't want to talk to her. She ain't got to talk to me. She ain't got to come for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But not realizing it's not going to be as hard as you think. Because if
Right.
both parties want to resolve, it's going to get resolved.
It's gonna get resolved. Yes.
And the conversation don't even have to be that long
Hmm.
if both people want to get it resolved. Now, if they want to do the deep dive, they can. The
Right.
problem is when one person is ready and has the tools and the other side does not, it's hard. Or when things remind us of something else that was traumatic
Right.
and it's not the same, or it just oh, you just said that like my daddy used to say it, so I don't
Hmm.
like that. That happens a lot of marriages too.
Right.
Or when my mama talked to my daddy about that, she didn't do all this rolling of her neck. Why you got to do all that? I'm not
Yeah.
your mama.
I'm not your mom. This.
And I
Yeah.
keep telling y'all, I've been blessed with a smart mouth. I'm not good in these situations because
Try me. Try me.
look,
I wish you would, boy.
look, go marry your mama. I can call her
Yeah.
FaceTime. You ready? Here she go.
Go marry your
And I
mama.
just make stuff. I make stuff wrong, but the Lord is
Yeah.
working on me. I make it worse,
Hey,
but I know that. So
it's a
listen,
journey.
dear future husband, I'm just letting you know. I know these things.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna pretend like I'm, Sleeping Beauty and just always singing,
Yeah.
fa la 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 la. I'm from Oakland, California, so I have a little rough around the edges. I'm just
I
letting you
got
know.
it. I got it.
Right.
And that
But
that makes
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense though. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of that unresolved stuff is because I'm afraid of what might come up if I really pull back the layers. And I don't know if I want to deal with that. Now, if you're an emotionally intelligent person and I'm having a conversation with you and you say that and we don't get further than that, that's a win. Because
Yeah.
that means you know, listen, I'm not ready to go there because I don't want to see yet what might be behind that veil.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need a minute. I
Right.
that's a win for me because
Yeah.
now
It
you know what's happening. You know what needs to be fixed, and I'm gonna give you the space to do it because you see,
yeah.
like, okay, hey, if somebody told me that instead of just like, whatever, whatever, bro,
Well,
that's a totally different relationship. I respect you just admitting that.
and it's hard to look at ugly in the mirror. First of
Absolutely.
all, like let's be real, it's hard to look at ugly in the mirror. And so not only do you have a prideful approach, not only do you have a victim stance, not only is it you against the world at most times, not only are you cutting people off, but like this, it almost feels like these things start to snowball after a while, and now that's just a way of life. Like
It's a
it's
defense
just what
mechanism
you
now.
do. It's a defense mechanism, and so, but this is where I have issues. And like if you have issues, we're all imperfect. I understand. What I would say is own it, because don't then mask it in some terrible wrapper of nobility.
Oh,
Oh, that's when you need to know when to cut people off because your own mental health, you first. No,
bruh.
no, no. Kill that you first. Kill it. Kill it. Like I have a conversation with a friend today, and I was like, that whole you first, I understand that whole power and movement. I trust you. Do your thing, King, Queen. I understand you. But I cannot stand first of all, I told you this before, deserve is a trigger word for me. That's just a trigger word for me because all the time, everybody, I deserve more. I deserve my fam. Like I'm from Earning University. That's just real. Like nothing is guaranteed to you where I'm from. Nothing. I don't care. I don't care. Nothing is guaranteed for where I'm from. Like you scratch, you claw, you work, you humble yourself, you put in the hours. Maybe you have the conversations to get to where you want to be.
Hmm.
You don't deserve nothing. Like you don't deserve, because I feel like the word deserve has been masked in you need to give this to me because I'm me.
Yeah. My favorite one is I'm protecting my peace. Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. Hey, oh,
Listen, I'm
calm down,
sorry.
bloodbath. Calm down,
Listen,
bloodbath.
people just be saying words they learn. I'm like, shut up. You protecting your peace, but you a hellion to everybody else's peace. How,
Yes,
Sway?
you're destroying it.
How
You're
you
destroying it.
how are you messy and you talk about protecting your peace?
You one of the messiest people I know talk about protecting my peace.
How you do that?
Yeah, you got a piece of information in
You got
everybody's life.
everybody else's peace. So you want ours and yours?
Yes, yes,
People and that yeah,
yes.
that I deserve girl.
It's crazy, and it's no, like she know I love her. It's not just her. It's a culture of people who say I deserve, I deserve,
It's
I
just
deserve. No,
trendy.
listen, I work for mine, and if something happens, and this is not, I mean, I can't always say this as everything, but like something that I have realized maybe like for about three to 4 years now is that I cannot continue to just burst through seasons. Like I can't just
Mhm.
continue to just put my head down and keep working, because that was the motto for me. Like unresolved issues don't matter. Keep my head down, keep working. Keep my head down, take a step. Keep taking steps, one step at a time, one step at a time. And what you'll do is that you won't realize what's around you. You won't realize the carnage that you're leaving. You won't realize the opportunity for growth that you're leaving on the table. You won't realize what you could have done better in the situation because
Mhm.
your head is down and the only thing you're focusing on is your steps. Like Like the prayer literally for me is like, God, nah, I want all of it. Now I don't know. Please equip me with this strength because I know it's gonna take more than I can do on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But I want all of it. Why? Because I don't want to be sitting here 10 years from now saying that I still got issues from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Let me work through this. And I don't want to sit up here with whoever that wife is and say, like, listen, I deserve more. Why? Did you put in the work? Why? Why do you deserve more? Like it literally is like to me, it breeds a form of delusion that I'm like, you think you deserve my fam. Why? Like that's literally me telling you, like, listen, I deserve to be in the NBA right now. I deserve to be a number one overall pick. Bro, have you picked up a basketball as many hours as the number of overall picks have? Have you studied the game inside and out as the number one picks have? Like, do you possess not only the skill but the fortitude and the engagement and the discipline to
No.
hold on to that? The answer is most likely is no, and that's why I don't got
Well, first of all, if you have to
it.
try to convince somebody of what you deserve, if it was yours, you'd have it. So who you trying to convince?
Mm,
Them or you? So it's very
right.
it's very important that we watch what we say too, because I get it to a point. People say, "Oh, you deserve happiness." Yes, I understand what that means,
I get it.
but if we gonna keep it real, what we really deserve ain't nothing like that.
Fire and brimstone.
If we really gonna keep it, if we gonna keep it real, like what we actually deserve, thank God for grace.
Yeah.
Cause
Yes.
really, in reality,
Yes.
all of our marriages should be trash. All
Yes.
of our careers should be dead ends.
Yes.
But the grace of God and the knowledge of God, because of his grace, he came to give us a more abundant life.
Yeah.
So we don't actually deserve it, but we want it and we are thankful when it comes. And he promised it.
Yeah.
But it's not about deserving. It's like, by the grace of God, this is what I desire.
Yeah.
And he said I could have it. So it has to come from him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to beat somebody up talking about what I deserve.
Right.
You're going to get what you deserve.
Yeah, yeah, you is. And another thing about the word deserve is that it totally doesn't take the thought process or it doesn't take the God's timing into consideration. So meaning like let's say I live in this place right now. It's pretty nice. Let's say before I got this place I was like, "Oh, I deserve this place" and stuff like
Hmm.
that. A, knowing that I didn't put in the work to do it. B, knowing that honestly, to tell you the truth, if I had it at that certain period of time, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. Like the
Hmm.
timing of things also matters. Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
so don't sit up here and say you deserve something because A, you probably don't. B, if you got we deserve, if we got what we deserve, like you said, we'll be in a worse place. And C, like that may not be the season for you right now, boo. Like it just
And
may not
yeah,
may you may need to work on some stuff.
yeah. The timing God. And how about all the time you was disobedient?
Exactly.
So it's the timing of you.
And we impatient.
You're
Like I'm talking
ignorant.
we impatient. We think like, oh, God got something promised for me. Listen, God, I've been praying and fasting for a whole month. Why hasn't this happened yet?
Listen.
Are you kidding me? You talking about Abraham waiting years. And you talk about for 3 weeks, God.
Yeah.
I've not been eating. I've been living on Starbucks alone. Like it has been caffeine and
Or
me.
even just the practical. Like, okay, yeah, God promised you that you could live better, but you still running up them credit cards. He's not
Mm,
going to do that. God told you you could have the love of your life, but you still watching porn, bro. Like, why
mm-hmm.
would he give his daughter to you?
Yeah,
You're unhealed.
yeah.
He promised a lot, but we also made a vow
Mm-hmm.
too when we said yes, Lord, but we say no, Lord, every day.
Mm-hmm.
He promised us a lot. He promised
Yeah.
us peace, but we a hellion to everybody else. How he
Mm-hmm.
gonna do that? That
Yeah.
would make him not a good father.
Yeah.
So yes, his timing, but it's really we're just really not smart.
Yeah, we're not
We just
and
be doing stuff and we want this I deserve stuff, but like you want to be wealthy. That's a great
mhm.
want.
Yeah.
You don't tithe, you don't
Mm,
share, you don't take care of your bills. How why would he do that to you? It's only going to set you up to be worse off.
right. And it's something I want you to speak to before we cut out of here. And I think you've articulated this well for me in the past. I want you to do that one more time.
Oh Lord, the pressure.
So we just talking about the cousins of unresolved issues. Like we've talked about unresolved issues breeding certain type of mentalities and mannerisms in people and the way that they navigate life. We even talked about how um, the answer is therapy, but we reluctant to go to therapy for that accountability and that advice and making us look at some things in the mirror. Speak to me on the idea of capacity. Now,
Hmm.
every single person owns not only tools, as you mentioned earlier, but a
Hmm.
capacity to deal with certain things. That capacity can be exceeded. That capacity cannot be there at all. So, what does capacity mean in the sense of trying to reconcile something or having a tough discussion?
Yeah, like I alluded to earlier, I think first of all you have to just be honest with yourself.
Mhm.
I know for a fact 10 years ago, some of the things that I'm able to articulate now, was not. And I know that. Even as bad as I wanted to, I didn't know how. There was not language for certain feelings and needs, right? So let's talk about relationship. There's one thing to get angry at somebody because let's say, okay, how about this? Let's say you plan a surprise dinner for your significant other,
Right.
but they don't come straight home, or they don't come according to plan as you they always do. They break the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like an hour, food is cold, hour late, whatever. Food is cold. So you're mad.
Right.
You've been building up your mad. You've been working on your mad this
You've
whole
been
time.
working. You've
Yeah.
been creating a conversation before it even happened.
Yeah. Your mad been doing push-ups, sit-ups, stretching, flexing in the mirror. Your mad is ready. So they call you. You don't answer. You like, nah, I'm gonna make you feel how I felt.
mm,
Right? So I ain't answering. Then they start texting, where you at? Where you at? Then they get so worried, they rush over to be like, oh, I thought something was wrong. Yo, what's going on? Nothing. So then the next day, silent treatment. So then the next day after that, silent treatment again. So then they stop trying. So then you make the attempt because you don't like them not trying to talk to you, even though you ain't trying to talk to them.
mm,
So now he's mad or she's mad because you're not talking. And they really don't know what you're mad about because you're not talking. So then you finally have the conversation and you just start going off. You're not mad at what you were mad at before. You're mad that they stopped talking to you or stopped attempting to talk to you. You're mad that they stopped chasing you down.
mm,
You don't really value this relationship. Wait a minute. No, what you're really mad at is you
mm,
did a gesture and you sacrificed, and because they didn't know, or whatever the reason was, they didn't receive your sacrifice well. But
mm,
the reason they didn't is because they did not know what you were doing,
mm,
right? So emotionally intelligent person would say, man, I did all of this for you and I was just disappointed that you didn't come on time like you normally do. So I just felt kind of like it felt like a slap in the face.
yeah.
And my love language is acts of service. And so I thought this through and I planned this for a week and it did not happen.
Mm,
And that
yeah.
sucks. That could have been resolved same day.
Yeah. It could have.
But that comes with stretching your capacity, because 10 years ago, if I would have learned my relationship skills from TV or a movie or my auntie or whoever, my homegirls who don't even have a relationship,
Hey,
then that's the tools I have.
yeah,
But over time, I should be stretching and seeing how much further I can go, building endurance. So
right,
now, an emotionally intelligent person would say what I just mentioned at the end there, because I sacrificed my time, my money, and effort planning something and it didn't pan out. That sucks.
yeah, yeah,
That gives the other person an opportunity to respond because they were completely unaware. They
yeah.
went to the gym after work because they always come straight home and ain't nothing going on. So it's like, well, let me get my workout in early.
Mm-hmm.
So not even having the conversation, that person was trying to do something for the other person too. Let me get this done before because she don't like when I leave later.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just two well-intentioned people mad.
Yeah, because of terrible communication.
Terrible communication.
Yeah.
So that long example that I just made up is just it's just like you gotta get the tools. And no longer in 2023 is the excuse that I didn't know acceptable, because we have tools at our fingertips now.
Yeah, we do.
So if somebody brings something to your attention, or if you keep hearing the same pattern from multiple people, then it's probably something that's true about you. So find the tools. If you can't afford therapy or you're not ready for that, you can watch a YouTube video of a therapist giving tips at this point. You can read a book. You can follow
Yeah.
an Instagram page that gives you daily
Yes.
things.
Yes.
So there's really no excuse. But the Bible says,
Hey.
in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. It's one of them Proverbs.
Hey.
So I'm just going to leave you with that.
Hey.
You should have a circle. You should have at least 1 to 2 people that you trust that love you enough to tell you the truth, and you accept it because of the source it's coming from. So it's never like, oh, you always against me. No, it's a trustworthy source. So let people tell you about yourself if you want to stretch your capacity and get more tools.
Ooh, say that. Leave that where it's at. That is hot news in the place to be, the Set Apart podcast.
Always put me on the spot.
It was good though. It's always a worthy cause. It's always a worthy cause. I thank y'all for sure. Like, let's really just sit back and just spend some time thinking about what does that mean to have an unresolved issue? How do I walk into a sober-mindedness of what I need to do in my life to get better? Here's a little tidbit, and this is to leave you with, okay? When you come to the question of how can I get better, the answer is never you can't get better. The answer is never, oh, it's nothing you have to do. You can always get better at something. Let's sober up to the way that we can start taking steps.